All right. So, are we ready?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think so now.
So yeah, this is the first campaign I've gotten to write from the ground up, not just adapting to somebody else's work. So this is a really big deal. This tale that will be told over this weekend and next weekend is going to involve a couple of taverns. So we need to be clear.
Beer.
We need to be clear on what a tavern is. So how would you describe a tavern to somebody who didn't know what it was? Do you know what a tavern is? You take a crack at it, Gwilwillithel.
Well, I would think it's like a bar, and so it's got like the seating, the tall stools up against the counter, as well as well, since this is taking place in Pathfinder, I wouldn't say booths, but tables and chairs, kind of
Yeah.
all around the establishment. However, the establishment is arranged.
And you know how in Final Fantasy IX you go into inns and they're like little restaurants?
Or like in Firefly,
Oh yeah.
where the tavern, and they always get in the bar fights.
Yeah. Yep. The bar is the modern day sort of tavern, except that a tavern didn't just have people drinking. People would also go there to eat, even families. Like if we had a tavern down the road in medieval times, then the three of us might go there to have a special dinner. See, in these towns, they don't have a whole bunch of restaurants like we do now. Back then, sometimes maybe the only place in town where you could go get something to eat was the tavern itself. So we're going to be dealing with the sorts of towns that only have one tavern in them. Okay, so in this culture, you're pretty much either going to be at home or at work or at the tavern, because it's the only place to go. You and I would think of the Brick in Northern Exposure. It's the only place in town to go get something to eat, to go meet up with people. They even have their town meetings in there. That's what the tavern was like. It was a social hub. It was never meet me at McDonald's, meet me at Starbucks. It was always meet me at the tavern. Okay. So yes, people are drinking, and there is a bar, but there's also tables. People go there to eat, even families. People like me, I might take my uke down there, and somebody else is going to bring their mandolin, except it's those days. So we're talking about the lute and the lyre, the dulcimer. So there might even be people there just playing music together or playing games together, like chess or whatever they had in that world back then. So you come there to socialize, and you do any number of things. And yes, they might even hire a band to play, live music Tuesday nights, something like that, And eventually they came to be known as a pub. A pub, is short for public house. So you've got your private house, and this is the town's public house, where people just come and hang out, okay? And you too are in such a tavern one morning eating breakfast. You slept well the night before at the inn that's attached to the tavern. Sometimes it's like in Final Fantasy IX, not only do they have a tavern in the front, but they've got rooms in the back that you can spend the night and sleep, This is in a town that you stop into regularly between quests and adventures. The beds are clean, the food is good, the mugs are large, and the barmaids are nice, and troublemakers are rare. Okay? The town is spelled Kyrkee. The town is called Kirky. Okay? And the name of the tavern, because of what it used to be, is called the Warehouse. Because it used to be a warehouse where they stored things. And then now it's taken over by somebody else, and they used all that room to put in little bedrooms where people could sleep, and it's got the tavern out. A man approaches you. He has black hair to his shoulders and red within black eyes. That means his eyes are black, but they got red dots in the middle. Okay? You recognize him to be an oracle, skilled in mysterious, mystical arts, but not by choice. He is a cursed conscript of the gods. You suddenly feel a chill, and you swear you hear someone whispering your name. And he says to you, the wizard wants to see you.
Oh.
He has an offer he hopes you'll be interested in taking.
Ooh. This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that wizard we met before.
It's the wizard, the one who gave you your special items, but we shouldn't discuss that here.
Okay.
Same. Well, the oracle, so sure about this.
So, do you guys want to go with Zane?
Yep.
Yeah, let's
Actually,
go with Zane.
I didn't even tell you what his name was yet. Oops. I was waiting to see if you'd ask, but it seems he already
yeah.
figured out it was Zane.
Zip.
Okay. So, you head out, and now, a couple hours walk later, you are approaching the old wizard's hovel in the woods. You're pretty sure you've been this way before, though, and you don't recall ever seeing it there. It is very small. It's more a shack in the middle of a kind of a field than somebody's home. But once you enter, you find out it is somehow bigger on the inside. But not by much, though it's hard to be certain where the walls are. There's endless heaps of books and bottles, jugs and jars, bags, various instruments and other items you can't identify, a dingy-looking cot, and a large wooden table with 6 chairs around it, though the table and all but one of the chairs are covered with the same sorts of things that are strewn around the rest of the place. There are no windows. The only light comes from various candles and oil lamps scattered around the room, and you can't see any doors or doorways, except the door you just came through. So it's apparently just one big room, again, filled with a lot of stuff. Most of the floor is covered by tall stacks of books, and calling them stacks is being generous. It's more like wobbly, barely standing piles of books.
Here. Asgram, don't go over there.
Yeah. There are maze-like paths to walk through them, however. So the old dwarf wizard looks a lot better than the last time you saw him, obviously, because the last time you saw him, he was beaten and bruised and bloody and barely standing. What else starts with a B?
Burn. The time.
And he speaks to you. I need a drink for this first. I've rehearsed this, and it makes me cough
Oh.
doing his voice. Asram, Gwilwillothau, thank you for coming. I wish to implore your aid in a matter of great urgency and importance. Please sit. He beckons
sit
you.
Down.
There's a problem. I said all the chairs are filled with junk.
Oh.
He beckons you sit down, and when you turn to look, the chair nearest to each of you is now empty. The stuff that had been piled in them is now suddenly gone. So the two of you do sit in chairs at either side of the wizard, at a table with barely enough room to rest an elbow, while Zane stands nearby like an obedient servant. I have heard rumors about a great evil in a village nearby, Aylesbury. A few days ago, they were sacked by an army. Most of them were killed, over 100 villagers dead. That's my favorite piece. Less than a dozen lived to tell the tale, and only because they fled. Most everything of value was taken from the town. The shops were raided, the crops uprooted, livestock led away, homes ransacked for anything of value. The odd thing is the invaders themselves. The army was an army of people from their neighboring village of Garrick. Not only men, but women and even children. Workers, farmers, ordinary folk. The young, the old, even healers and priests. Killing and taking everything. That's the most unusual army I've ever heard of. But worse still, Aylesbury now makes 3 villages that have been destroyed and looted in the last week, each within less than a day's walk of the other, and always one town's population attacking the other. Please, will you go to Garrigill? Find out what could have caused the people to commit such a vicious act. Talk to the town patron. But you get that? I know people from Garrigill, several of them. They are a simple folk. They're no more warriors than the goats and pigs they raise. And certainly not marauders and pillagers, murderers. So would you please go to Garrigill and investigate?
Yeah. It's,
Asram, I don't know about all this. This sounds kind of scary. I'm kidding. Okay, yes, let's go.
yeah.
You'll need to take this with you. That is a tourmaline crystal, everybody. That's something that your characters would know. It is a crystalline mineral called tourmaline. Okay? When you carry this enchanted crystal, I will be able to speak to you, no matter where you travel. Well, more like speak through you, or into you, but, well, no matter. It's not so simple to explain in mortal terms. So he gives you a little bit of directions. What? So he gives you a little bit of directions. Is there anything you need to say, ask, any of that?
Oh dear. How will we know that this is you talking through this crystal? What if it's
The dog.
an evil presence?
I guess that's a chance you'll have to take. I mean, you know how the wizard does things. He didn't just give
Yeah.
you something off a shelf. This is a specially made item.
So do we have any questions, Asram, for the wizard? What would make these townspeople attack other towns? Or is that what we're there to find out?
What you're going to find out.
What does this, what is he called?
I think he's called.
Patron?
Yeah. The patron. What does he look like? Or do we just know?
You would know that you could just ask around for the town
Oh,
patron. Are you taking a note?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Let's see. So he, oh, I forgot I wrote directions. So he tells you from here, go south until you find a road and then follow it west to Garrigill. And go carefully. Goblin bandits like to stalk the road. And he says, he gives you a little blessing. Gods be with you and watch over you. And do watch over yourselves and each other, for the way may be perilous.
Oh dear.
Go now. I fear there is not much time until more bloodshed. So, the two of you leave his hovel, and you are now on open ground, headed toward the road that he says you will eventually come to. Now, you can see off in the distance there's some hills, like foothills. You can see that you're not very far from a lot of forest. This is just a little clearing in a pretty heavily forested area. And you guys are walking across this open field, headed for the road that he says you'll then need to go west on. So, what do you guys know so far? What would you guys be talking about on the road? What would your thoughts be? Plot
Yeah.
recap is fine.
So,
So what are you going to investigate? Repeat back what he described to you. What happened that you guys are going to go look into?
The people in the town were attacking each other.
Well, sort of. People in one town, another town showed up and attacked them.
They attacked them.
Yeah, but it wasn't like an army. It was just people like you and me.
it was the people of the town.
Yeah, so there was, as it said, there was like little old ladies hitting people with her cane. There was like little 6-year-old kids. I mean, it was like everybody in the whole town just stood up, walked over to another town, killed them all, and took all their stuff. So what might you guys be discussing or thinking about on the way? Maybe there's some questions that you have that you look forward to getting answers to.
So I wonder what would cause these townspeople to just go to the neighboring town and attack them. Are they? Oh, I guess I should have asked.
Well, you can
I wonder.
formulate questions.
I wonder if they're like taking their stuff. You know, like he said the crops were uprooted. I mean, were they taking their crops and bringing them back to their town and eating the other town's food for themselves, or taking their items out of their stores and
It's been an hour or so, and you guys find that road, and you start heading west toward the town of, anybody remember the name of the town you're headed for?
something Gill.
Garrigill.
Garrett Gill.
Gill.
Yep. So you got some thoughts about it, Azram, as you guys walk along. By the way, you're going into a more forested area now. The road takes you into some forest.
Oh dear, it's getting kind of dark out here.
No, you guys just had breakfast a couple hours ago.
Well, it would still be dark in the forest.
We're not talking Tales from
No.
the Dark Side of the
Oh.
Forest. It's just, it's nature. There's trees,
Isn't this sunlight beautiful
Yeah.
coming through the trees? So I wonder if they took all their stuff, like, or if they were just attacking them just to attack them.
Yeah. Like taking weapons from shops.
Yeah, like that.
Taking food.
And drinking all their finest ales.
Well, you remember that the wizard did say that, yes, they took away their livestock. That's, their animals. He mentioned
Yeah.
that they raised pigs and goats. So obviously they took the pigs and the goats. Probably took any horses that were there. And then, yes, they kicked in the door of every house and went into the house to get all the stuff out of anything of value.
So what kind of questions do you think we ought to ask the town patron?
It's been about another hour now, by the way, and you're entering denser trees.
We should probably ask them if the townspeople even said anything as they were kicking their doors in and taking all their stuff.
Actually, the town that was attacked was Aylesbury. You guys are going to the town where the attackers came from.
Oh.
Yeah, Garrigill was the attacking town.
Oh.
So these people that you're about to meet are the ones who did all the killing and stealing.
Oh. Apparently I wasn't paying attention.
So you guys would probably even be kind of worried about this, because the people that you're about to go meet just strolled over to the other town, he said less than a day's walk away, and killed everybody and took everything and then went back home. And now you're going to their home.
Yeah.
That's tough, huh? And you're going to, as he said, you're going to talk to the patron and ask them, ask around, so you guys did what the other day?
Well, I wouldn't start off that way.
I would hope not.
But we should ask him where they got all this. That this looks like such a wealthy town. And where on earth did they get such riches? Because by all appearances, this looks like a poor town.
It's now been about another hour, actually not an hour, but it's been a little while, and you are walking through an area where the trees have gotten denser, but you're also hitting some uneven ground. So there's kind of like little hills on the sides. There's been a path cut through to where there's hills on either side of you. And suddenly, Azram winces in pain and goes like
Oh
this.
God! What happened?
And
Azram.
pulls a little arrow out of his shoulder and takes 3 points of damage from that arrow.
Oh my goodness. But Gwilithel whips into action.
Not yet. She
Oh.
doesn't.
25.
So, you guys would have been walking side by side, headed this way,
Which way?
behind me.
And then
Yeah, you guys got to move that way. I can't even see the board. Yeah, that's more like it. On squares, though.
there.
Okay. When 3 goblins with a goblin dog come jumping down from their hiding places and block your path.
Oh dear.
Okay, so let's get you guys on these squares here. And they come jumping down. They're armed with short bows and short swords.
Do they sound like a cackling laugh like,
I'm getting there. And then the dog comes trailing along behind them. I gotta get a drink for this one too.
No.
Oh, right, and that brought your HP down to 25, right? All right, so you're not exactly surrounded. They did not wait until you got kind of past them. I guess whoever shot Azram wanted a good shot from the front. And they kind of take turns speaking. The first one says, "Well, what have we here, gents? Travelers!" And they all laugh scornfully. "Adventurers, no doubt." More laughter. "Maybe fierce warriors." Now they're roaring laughter, and one mocks, "Who do you suppose is the more fierce, the woman or the dwarf youngin?" And they all laugh hysterically. And then one speaks who kind of seems to fancy himself in charge. "And who gave ye permission to travel on our road?" They all chuckle and laugh. "We don't like this one bit. No one travels this road without our boss's permission." They laugh, and one says, "Yeah, the boss's permission." "Tell you what, you pay me a toll of 100 gold, and me friends here will pretend we never saw ye." And they all burst into guffaws of laughter.
I don't think I like these trolls, and I don't think I trust them either.
"I was hoping you'd say that. Boys, we got trespassers on the boss's road."
And who makes you,
The
I need
boss.
initiative.
and who makes you the owner of these woods and this path?
14.
10.
Okay, so Azram is very angry that somebody took a shot at him, not facing him face to face like a man, but decided to be sneaky and hide and, like a coward, strike him when he wasn't ready. You know what? I should tell you about goblin dogs first, because you guys haven't seen a goblin dog.
Okay.
There is what a goblin dog looks like.
My God.
Loathed by men and beasts alike, goblin dogs are ugly, stinking, craven, and foul-tempered. It's no surprise that goblins find kindred spirits in these shunned, disgusting beasts. Constantly itching, afflicted with a species-wide mange, exacerbated by prolific dander, even the healthiest goblin dog looks sickly and starved. Despite its name, the goblin dog is in fact a species of rodent, grown monstrously large. Their long-legged shape and proclivity to hunt and run in packs earned them their popular name, a name that goblins take issue with as it galls the average goblin to consider these their favored mounts, they ride them like horses, having anything at all to do with actual dogs. Of course, being goblins, they haven't bothered to come up with alternate names for goblin dogs. They haven't, perhaps they don't even realize they can. Contact with a goblin dog's infested, mangy hide causes most other creatures to break out into hives, a condition known as goblin rash.
You.
Goblinoids seem to be immune to this affliction and are fond of keeping goblin dogs as guardians and mounts. Despite their skin conditions and disorders, goblin dogs are highly resistant to disease. Their favorite food is carrion. You know what carrion is?
Isn't it a type of rat?
No. Carrion is dead meat. Like, they love to find a dead animal and start eating it. The riper, the better. That many goblin tribes let their goblin dogs run free in their lairs is the single reason most goblin dens aren't filthier than they actually are. Constantly hungry, a goblin dog eats anything it can chew that it finds left behind. A goblin dog is 5 feet long, but only weighs about 75 pounds. Okay? So, as I was saying, Azram decides that he is very angry about being shot, and so he makes a move.
Alright, so. Oh. So.
Who do you think? Azram. I think it was this one, Goblin number 1, that took a shot at you. You should go after him.
Okay. 1, 2. And I'm gonna use the paralysis knife.
Okay?
So you're just gonna.
Stab it into him.
Yep.
Okay?
It's a 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, you're too slow, apparently, because you did not connect with your paralysis knife, and now he looks mad that you even took a swing at him. I think these goblins were expecting you guys to be submissive. I mean, the one asked, who do you think is more fierce, the woman or the dwarf youngin? So they obviously don't take you seriously. You're going to have a lot to prove, and will it though, this is your chance to prove it.
Okay, so I don't like these little trolls. Well, goblins.
I figured you were slurring them back.
Well, yeah.
I would say take down the dog. But you have fight.
Yeah, so I'm coming around here and I'm going to get this goblin dog over here because he smells bad and he's making me itch. And I'm going to use my masterwork longsword. 20.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nice. Yep, you definitely connect with that dog. Roll me some damage.
Six.
Okay.
Points of death.
He yelps, and he definitely ain't happy about it. But he's definitely
I
still
go
staying.
slashing across his throat.
So now Goblin 1, that is so angry at Azram, whips out his short sword and takes a swing at you and also misses. Maybe you guys are slipping around in some mud or something.
Whoa.
But,
Smash.
uh-oh.
See, go. Whoa.
Oh, I think I got it. 1, 2, 3, yeah, I missed it.
We fall.
Okay, and then Goblin 3 comes around and flanks Will it though? No, that's 2.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
2. I'm gonna swing
Oops.
these guys.
And he takes a swing at you with his short sword, and he misses.
No, you don't, you little troll.
These goblins suck. So let's see. The goblin dog, who you tried to eviscerate or whatever,
Bite.
yeah, takes a snap at you and connects
Stupid dog!
For,
dog.
9 points of damage. Which on my screen brings you down to 9.
Correct.
You.
Which brings us to Goblin 2, who flanks Azram. 1, 2.
Sorry.
Takes a swing with his short sword and connects, and it is for, oh dear, 3 points of damage, which brings Azram down to 22.
Okay.
And that brings it back to Azram. Better make it good, dude. You guys have a
I got a
health leak.
crisis. I got a crisis here. So I'm gonna swing both 1 and 2.
Nah, that doesn't work.
No, because he's in front
One of them is behind you, so that won't work. If they were both in front of you or something, that would work, but not behind you.
So do you want to take a stab or a swing at 1 or 2? Or do you want to move?
I think I'll move.
Okay.
1, 2 to the goblin.
Well, you're going to have to,
Oh,
because you can't, oh, you're not diagonal. Never mind. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna use the paralysis knife again.
On who?
The goblin dog.
Okay.
You're going to get near the goblin dog. Ew!
15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Well, it says it only happens when you touch them.
20.
Well, just looking at it is making me itch.
All right, you connected with the goblin dog. Give me some damage. Oh, wait, with the paralysis knife?
Yep,
Okay.
I stabbed.
Okay. So yeah, roll the 1d4 damage.
4.
Okay. Okay. So, Willithel.
Well, I'm tired of this damn dog.
I fertilized him, so
So I'm going to come around on this other side of him and I'm going to flank him. And let's see here.
he's a scary dog.
I'm going to take a big old nice slice out of him with my blessed scimitar.
Remember, she got the oil of blessing she could use on a weapon.
18.
In the last campaign that I GM'd, it was one of the last things that you guys found. So when she used it on her scimitar, she anointed the scimitar with this oil, and now it has a +2 added to her attack bonus. You attacked which goblin, and how did it go?
The goblin dog.
Okay.
And I got 18.
Okay. Yep. Roll me damage.
5.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I didn't have to roll an attack.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Since he was
right, yeah, 'cause
paralyzed,
he's
so-
paralyzed.
Oh, so it didn't matter if I flanked him or not.
Yeah, no doubt. Hang on, I have a mistake here. The dog is definitely still alive, so
Oh.
I just need to fix something here. Let's read up. Okay. Now, Goblin 1 is right there. And so he moves over here and pulls the paralysis knife out of the goblin
Oh, no.
dog.
Oh no.
I didn't mean that.
And sticks it in his
Yes,
belt.
you did.
He's going to keep it. By the way, you didn't give me your knife when you used it.
Oh. Dang it.
Yep.
Come on, Goblin. I'm gonna take you next.
And then Goblin 3.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. We're dead.
And Goblin 3 can move 6 spaces. Well, Goblin 3 doesn't even bother moving. Isn't that the one you said you thought shot Azram, or was it 1?
I think it was.
It was one.
So,
one?
Yeah.
Goblin 3, and see, I'm picking up my D20, and it says the damage is 1d4, so I'm also getting my 4-sided die, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
rolling
forgot
them
about
both
that.
at once, okay? So, he fires his short bow at Gwilwillithel,
Uh-oh.
and misses, but just barely. Just barely. So, who am I on? That's 3. That's right, because 1 pulled out the knife. And now the goblin dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs over here and starts barking.
Oh dear. He's probably calling more dogs.
And then Goblin 2 we agreed we'd do diagonal flanking. So Goblin 2 attacks Azram with his short sword and misses. So you got off lucky, which brings us back to Azram.
We got a deep situation.
Yes, yes.
It definitely ain't pretty.
Yeah, we do. We hit these 3.
Yeah, but we'll see, because that dog is almost dead. We gotta shut his ass up.
That dog doesn't look almost dead.
Oh,
Well, we've been taking some chunks out of him now.
yeah. And the dog is more important than the dog.
I don't know that I would concur with the dog is more important than the goblins. The dog has teeth.
Yes, but he's calling more things.
Every one of those goblins has a sword and a short bow.
So what you think? Go over here. And then when it's my turn, I'll move here, and then we'll be flanking him.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move back here. 1, 2, 3. Right
And where are
in.
you going to be?
I'm gonna. I'm gonna try
Which goblin has your paralysis knife?
1.
Okay.
So I'm gonna slice him. I'm gonna slice goblin number 1 with my masterwork longsword.
Okay, so roll your
In half.
D20 and your D8.
Okay.
Your D8. Isn't that the 8?
Yeah.
So roll them together that way.
Save a little time.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, 18, 19. So I have 19.
Yep, you hit. What's the damage?
6.
That is a dead goblin number 1.
Woohoo!
Ugh.
Turn your next turn, you get paralysis knocked out of it.
I would let him take it now.
Oh,
Okay.
So yes, it was sticking out of the guy, or no, it was in his
his
belt,
belt.
and you just yank it right out of his belt, and you have it back.
Alright.
Gwilwillithal.
That's cool.
these goblins are getting on my nerves. She has different voices. So, where was I?
I think you're right around.
Here.
I think you're right here.
Okay,
And then
1, 2. So I'm gonna get in front of goblin number 3. And, I'm going to take a swing at him with my masterwork long sword. .24.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
And I did 6 points of damage.
That is a dead goblin number 3.
These goblins are easy to kill. As long as you roll right.
yeah.
Now, goblin number 3 is the one you just killed. So,
Ugh.
the goblin dog, who again has been barking, but he was barking at you. Okay, although yeah, that could very well attract attention. But he sees the other goblin die, and now there's only one goblin standing. And Goblin 2 shouts over to him, "Go, boy!" And he runs and is gone out of sight. And then the last goblin standing, with a look of resolve on his face, steps up to Gwilwillithal and takes a swing with his short sword. Yeah, okay. And connects and hits you for 2 damage, bringing you down to 7 by my count.
Yeah.
And that brings it back to Azra.
Alright, I'm gonna move to where Goblin 2 is. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna slice him in half with my masterwork longsword.
Okay, let's see that. That could get big.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, you didn't slice him in half from where I'm sitting. So, that brings it back to Gwilwillithal.
Can I step over where this goblin thing is? Well, I guess I could move diagonally. That'll be 2.
I think you can step over dead bodies at a cost of, it counts as 2 moves, I don't remember.
2. So, I'm standing. And I have to get rid of this goblin. So again, I'm going to use my masterwork longsword. And I'm going to bring it down over his head like this. And cut down through the center of his head.
God.
Well,
Yeah, his helmet that he's
Oh.
wearing stops you from
Oh,
that. I
okay.
probably should have sent you guys the pictures of goblins.
oh, actually that's... I forgot to add the +2 because we're flanking him. So, 14?
Yeah, the helmet stopped you below.
Okay.
And you just bumped him on his armor on his head. Really rang his bell.
Yeah. His helmet's making that sound.
And he gives you a look like, how dare you, and swings back at you, actually jabs in your middle. I'm going to show you how a armor-piercing sword really works. And it goes in. You saw what he was up to, though, so you only took 2 points of damage, but that looks like brings you down to 5.
Yeah.
And so, Azram, what are you going to do about this dude attacking your loyal companion? Not companion in the Firefly sense, of course.
Alright, I have enough of this. I'm gonna
I've had enough of this.
I'm gonna go like this with my masterwork longsword
Okay.
on the goblin. Okay. 20.
Oh,
21.
okay.
It's a critical hit.
Yeah.
Roll it again. See it? No, not the damage.
8.
8, so it's not a critical hit, and you messed with your damage. It was 2.
Okay.
So yes, he. You can definitely see that he doesn't feel good about the damage that you just did. Gwilithel.
Well. I'm going to take another swing at him. Like, down at his little body. With my long sword. 20. $18.
Yep, that is a successful critical. So give me, what's your first damage roll?
1.
And give me another one.
3 plus
4.
7, or plus 4. So 8.
Yeah, that's a dead goblin number 2.
Yay!
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Alright. Let's go search these goblins.
Okay.
These folks.
So you search the 3 of them, and between the 3 of them, you come up with 61 gold pieces
Wait.
and 3 potions of light healing. So, now that that's over, you search the bodies, you get the stuff. Obviously, they had, short swords, short bows, and armor and all that, but you don't care, I assume.
No, they're little dudes.
Yeah. So, but you did get the gold and 3 potions. Hey, 3 potions,
Yeah.
But the dog got away
Yeah.
after the goblin sang, "Go, boy," or whatever he said.
Good boy.
So you guys continue the way you were headed. Do we want to do chips and cream sodas now?
Yeah.
So as I said, you get back on your way west.
How
So,
dare those goblins even try to say that this is their road?
what do y'all think about that dog that ran away?
I wonder where the dog went.
I want
Probably back
revenge.
to their nasty little hut.
Remember that the wizard warned you that this road was stalked, as he put it, by goblins. So you guys are walking along and thinking about all this stuff, and by now it's pretty late in the day, like afternoon, okay? Like early afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the heavily wooded area with the kind of hilly walls on the sides of you eventually opens up to a less wooded area. but there's still trees around. But you can kind of look around and see nothing's going to sneak up on you in here. I mean, unless maybe they suck their tummies in and like stand next to the tree and kind of turn as you walk by. But yeah, it's not so heavily wooded that you feel at risk of something sneaking up on you anyway. So, but still, don't you think you guys would be a little guarded as you're walking
Oh, yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Probably, maybe even with a weapon already drawn.
I would draw with my masterwork on, so.
And just have it ready just in case.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, you guys are walking for a while. And again, where you're at right now, nothing could really sneak up on you. And so another like hour or so passes. And as you walk, you're walking along this road, you come to another road that branches off. And there's a crossroads sign there, you know.
Yeah.
And one sign points the way that you're going, and it says Garrigill. And the other points down the other road and says Fireband.
Do we know
It's
anything
kinda like-
about Firebend?
Not that you can think of.
I wonder if that goblin dog went in there. Firebend.
So,
Let's go to Firebend and see what is in Firebend.
Yeah.
what did the wizard tell you to do? Ask
Go,
you to do?
Go to Gilgard.
go,
Yeah. that
Gargo.
one.
So what about that? You
We can stop there for a minute and see if there's anything for.
Well, you can see down the road, and it's a road to another town. I mean,
Can I see the town?
no.
Well, then we should probably.
Yeah, let's.
I mean, you are on a mission after all.
That's
You,
true.
you agreed to take this job. Nobody really discussed payment, though. You guys didn't bring it up. But, so you just keep on walking toward Garrigill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm lawful good, so he asked me to do something.
Okay. Right on.
Gargo.
So, you guys keep on toward Garrigill.
Whether there's money involved or not.
Don't.
So you guys keep on.
So we're gonna go to Garrigill. We're gonna keep on heading to Garrigill.
Okay, so yeah, you're headed toward Garrigill, and yeah, sometimes it gets a little woodier. Sometimes it's less woody. Sometimes it's downright open. And yeah, you guys are.
I wonder where that goblin hut is,
That goblin hood.
or whatever they live in. I mean, I don't see anything around. Where could that dog have gone?
Yeah.
You know, because them are some possessive little goblins.
Yeah.
Not wanting me to walk on their road.
We would totally mock the goblins.
What do we see? Just trees?
Yeah, well, and now it's been actually less.
Sparse trees?
Yeah, it was getting more and more sparse, and now less than an hour later, it's getting very open where you see almost no trees. I mean, at least not, within 100, 200 feet of you. The trees are getting more and more sparse as you follow this road, and eventually you do see the village up ahead. So, are you guys ready to go into the village? Is there anything you want to discuss first, ask about first, or do first?
So we're gonna be kind of incognito. Do you know what incognito means? We don't want them to know who we are and why we're here. We're just here to investigate without them knowing. So we kind of have to be secretive. So we can't just walk in there and say, "Where is this
I demand
Town.
to know where Ralph is.
this town patron is and why he attacked another town?" We're not going to do that. Okay? We're going to do some investigation. We're going to ask questions.
Okay.
I wonder where a town patron might be. Any idea?
Maybe like an office or something.
In an office?
Yeah, there would be something of a town, some sort
Like
of.
city hall type building?
Well, it would probably be a combination of a constable's office or a jail, but it would also be where any, I guess, full-time officials would be. But I don't really know if they had full-time officials back then. I'm just not sure. So, but yes, those would all be possibilities that would be occurring to you. I'm also worried about this 5 that I see on my screen down here at Glowilla, though.
Oh, yes. So before we go in here and possibly start a war, I'm going to use my healing stone.
As you enter the town, you pass a man. Uh-oh, wrong screen. You pass a man carrying a large sack over his shoulder of what is probably potatoes.
Hello, mate.
A small, frail-looking man, about 65 years old, human, wearing the simple clothes of a common villager. He keeps his eyes to the ground, not even acknowledging their passing. Your passing, sorry. I forgot to change that. So, he's a little, remember, this is a town where everybody just murdered everybody in the next town. So you said you were going to be cautious as well as discreet. So, he's an old, small, frail-looking old man, well, 65, although 65 back then meant different things. He's got a sack over his shoulder of what is probably potatoes, and he keeps his eyes to the ground as he passes you, not even acknowledging your presence. You want to keep walking, or...
Let's see. I think we should ask him. Hello, do you know where the town patron is?
Is that what you're
Do you
doing?
want to do that?
Yeah.
He seems dazed, or maybe lost in thought. And he says, "You've chosen a bad time to visit our village. Something horrible has happened."
What do you mean by horrible?
I don't remember. And I don't want to remember neither. And he moves quickly along and doesn't say another word.
He doesn't remember. That's right. He doesn't remember what happened. He doesn't know why it's bad. He just knows it's bad. What happened to this bastard? Should we keep walking?
Yeah.
So we keep walking.
So the town is quiet, with very few people moving about. But the ones you see all have the same sad look. Then you come to the tavern. The sign out front says the Braying Mule.
Is there anyone standing outside the tavern?
Nope.
Well, let's enter the tavern then. That's what we're here for.
So you walk in. It's just an open doorway. There's not a door. It's not batwing doors like in old westerns. It's just a doorway. And never have you seen a tavern so quiet. All the faces are sullen. The conversations are hushed. And there's only about half the amount of people that you'd expect to see at this time of the day. At this point, it's middle of the afternoon.
I could use a drink. Let's go up to the bar and get a drink. So we walk up to the bar, and I order their finest ale. She's a drinker, she is.
What do you want, Did?
I'll have Vito.
The ale as well?
Mhm.
Okay. Dark or light?
Dark.
Yeah, that's our boy. Yeah, he knows his beers.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay, so you choose a spot at the bar near two men. They're not sitting side by side.
Which is kind of funny because, well, never mind, go for it.
There's a bar stool between the two of them. One of them is staring into the mug in front of him. The other is picking at wounds, just beginning to heal on his hands.
Heal?
And he has a faraway gaze.
You gotta
And
heal him.
the barman brings you your two ales.
What was that?
You should heal the
Well, they are healing. I mean, I guess you could make them go away completely, but, you know, they're beginning to heal.
But he's picking at him. Heal.
Well, it's not like he's peeling them off. He's just got this faraway look. He's looking through his hands, and he's, you know,
Oh.
just kind of doing a little thoughtful scratching about them. But yeah, he probably doesn't even see what he's doing. He's staring through his hand. He's lost in thought. He's got that faraway gaze like the guy did when you guys came into town.
So we sit down at the bar.
So you've got one guy that's staring into his
Yeah.
mug on your direct right. So you guys are side by side, and now he's to your side, and there's an empty bar stool and another guy sitting down there
Yeah.
in the next one.
Do we have our ale yet?
Yeah, I thought I said that.
Oh,
They
okay.
They brought you your
Oh, okay.
ales.
So we're sitting at the bar and we're just sitting there sipping on our ale, looking around. Do we hear anything? It's silent.
Like I said, it's the quietest
It's the
tavern
dead
you have
silence.
ever seen. People look sullen, and the conversations are hushed.
But why would they do such a crime?
Yeah, why would...
They're down, like,
Yeah, every person around you, you can only assume, was one of the people who went into the neighboring town and slaughtered everybody and stole everything of value. And that's people, that's all the people in this tavern. You look over and there's a guy alone by himself in the corner. Over at one of the tables is what appears to be maybe a father and daughter. They're pig farmers by the look of them. At another, wandering around the tables and wiping tables off and all like that is a barmaid. And there is a much older gal, looks to be a halfling, or is a halfling, sitting there with a ledger in front of her doing paperwork. And every one of those people, again, you can only assume, joined in this massacre pillaging thing.
Azran, there's something wrong here.
yeah.
You would think if they did that terrible atrocity of their own volition, of their own will, then they would be happy and having parties and loud, boisterous and singing, and because, they just attacked a town and took all their stuff. So you would think these people would be happy with themselves for taking all this stuff. What is going on here, Asram? The bartender is usually somebody that has a lot of information. They hear everything from everyone. People tell their bartender things.
What were you told to do by the wizard when you got here? Anybody remember? I even asked.
Talk to the town patron. So let's talk to the town, the bartender,
Yeah.
and ask him where the town patron is.
Mm-hmm.
Where is is your town patron, good sir?
The barman looks at you and glances to the guy next to you and looks at you again. And the guy at the bar next to you says, I'm a town elder. Trowlands. Our patron was killed.
Oh dear. Well then who is taking over for his position?
And he's silent for a moment. And I remember fearful faces looking at me. Scared of me. Of me. And he just keeps staring into his mug.
What happened here? Why is no one talking? This is a pub after all.
He doesn't look up and says, I've said all I'm gonna say. Leave me be.
He's not very chatty. So I want to talk to the bartender.
He has moved on. He's not
Oh.
even standing there now.
Let's talk to the maid.
The what?
The barmaid,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's cleaning off the tables.
Yep.
All right. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So you, after not getting much of a response from him, he doesn't even seem to be hearing the words you're saying. You pick up your mugs and kind of just casually, hopefully, walk over to where the barmaid is cleaning off the candle thing. Somebody knocked it over and she's like getting the wax off of it and wiping it off. She is a halfling. She's in her late 30s. And you walk up to her, trying not to crowd her. So maybe one of you is kind of closer to her than the other one. So what do you want to say to this barmaid?
What happened?
We could say, good day, madam. Or, hello. What, we could ask her what's going on. What's going on here?
No.
Everyone is so quiet.
Yeah.
There's barely any chatter. What is going on here? This is unusual. Most pubs I've been in,
It would
they're
be
loud and
loudness.
drinking and music playing.
It would be loud.
She looks at you, but it's more like she's looking through you. Like she's looking at something on the wall behind you or something. And she says, We took all the stuff to a place, I don't remember where. Nobody does.
All of what stuff?
I wasn't even thinking. Just two words repeating in my head over and over. Kill and take. I have to go now. I have orders to serve. And she quickly walks away from me.
I want to listen to the noises again in the pub. In the tavern.
It is. I scrolled away from my note. It's quiet. There are scattered conversations, but it's very hushed, like they're discussing something private. And it's not even an ongoing conversation. You just hear from a couple of tables. It's not like everybody's being completely silent. The gal who's sitting there like doing paperwork, she's being quiet. The guy who's in the corner by himself seems to occasionally just say something to himself, so far as you can tell. And the couple or father and daughter or whatever they are at the table just sitting there eating. I'm sorry, they're sitting at a table not drinking from the mugs in front of them. They occasionally say something to each other. Aside from that and the occasional somebody asking, or the barmaid walking over and you hear an order given perhaps, the barman might occasionally say something to the barmaid, etc. Aside from that, it's pretty much dead silent in here.
Is there any unusual things in the tavern? Things unusual that wouldn't necessarily be there?
No, everything.
Or an abundance of things.
This looks like a dozen other taverns you've been
Well, these people aren't very cooperative.
Try the dad and the doctor.
You want to try talking to them? Okay, because the town patron was killed, so... Yeah, let's talk to the downtrodden. Good day, sir and madam. Ma'am.
As I said, they appear to be pig farmers, and as you get closer to them, the smell confirms that they are pig farmers.
Yep.
They are both dwarves. He appears, at least in years that you can relate to be in his mid-60s, and she is in her mid-20s. And you greet them. Oh yes, and they're sitting at a table not drinking from the mugs in front of them. You greet them and they say nothing in response and don't even look up to acknowledge your presence.
Excuse me, can we sit down by you?
She speaks up. I don't really remember what all I'd done. Just that it was really bad. Killing and stealing.
So you may send steal.
And as you guys are trying to figure out what to make of that, the guy speaks up and says, I didn't want to do those things. You believe me, right? The gods are my witness. I've never hurt anyone before that day.
Oh my god, what has been done to these people? Azram. What are you talking about? Why do you not remember? What horrible things?
Just leave us alone.
Oh dear.
See? I don't.
Well, I was only here to help.
great. When you talk to the guy in the corner, sitting by himself.
I don't think these people want to talk about this.
It's called Wizard. To tell this is bad.
Do we check in with the wizard? Can we check in with the wizard?
You don't even know what to do with it.
Oh,
You did.
yeah, that's true.
You didn't ask.
Oh, shit. Okay. So I have a lump of rock here. We're kind of not good at this.
So you guys still have the older halfling woman who appears to be about in her 60s, got a ledger in front of her doing paperwork. And you've still got the guy alone in the corner that now that you can see him better, you identify him to be a male. He's a half-elf in, again, years that we can relate to, late 30s. And he appears to be a beggar. He is at a table alone in a corner eating what looks like very uninteresting, kind of hard bread and stew. Perhaps this was, all he could afford to pay for, or perhaps, the barman hooks him up, but he's not going to give him the best stuff, so he's going to give him what was left over from yesterday or whatever. So, but yes, he appears to be a beggar. And then at the other table, somebody with a ledger doing paperwork, an older woman.
So you want to talk to the half-elf?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I might have some pull with him since he's one of my kind.
Yeah.
So we walk up to the half-elf sitting in the corner, the beggar. Hello, friends. May we join you?
You're the authorities, aren't you? You've come to take us all in, haven't you?
No. We're just mere
Well,
travelers.
I've got nothing to say about it.
We're just mere travelers. And nobody else.
He just goes back to eating his stew, kind of shaking his head a little bit.
Sir, please, we just want to help. You and I come from...
Hey! What's going on over there?
Uh-oh.
You need to leave people alone. The barman is staring at you and clearly not happy.
All right, well, I see you don't want to be bothered, so...
All of a sudden, from outside the tavern, you hear a great commotion. Shouts of alarm and blood-curdling screams. You hear someone yell as they pass by the tavern, "The people of Firebend are attacking!"
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
Time to attack.
So I jump out of my seat. Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
we're
think
not
we're not sitting.
sitting yet because he wouldn't let us sit.
So we
So we run... Is there windows?
Yeah.
So we run over to the windows and look out.
Okay. From where you are, you can see that there are a lot of them. There could be as many as 100. They are silent with expressionless faces, almost dreamy, like their thoughts are elsewhere. But they're moving with a purpose. They're walking at a brisk pace. Like they're in a hurry, but they're not running. They are very orderly, but focused on their goals. Kill and take. You do see villagers scattering. Yes. You do see that the villagers are scattering. They're running into houses and businesses. Doors are slamming all around. People are hiding behind anything they can get to. But the attacking villagers are seeking them out and slaughtering them. They're carrying the simplest of weapons, hammers, kitchen knives. One woman is beating a man with a broom. A human boy of about 11 is repeatedly slashing a woman in gypsy garb with a machete.
Oh my god.
A few of them do have weapons, but nothing special. Ragged swords, clubs, daggers. One guy has a bow and arrow, and he's about to fire it into the window that you're looking out of.
Duck!
Dog!
The arrow goes flying over your head, but if you pop up your head, you see that he is still standing there loading another arrow to shoot it in the window.
Oh god.
Move away from the window!
No!
They aren't moving, by the way. The people inside of the tavern are...
Like, just like, standing there.
They're just kind of looking around like something is invading into this haze that they're in. And a couple of them are beginning to slowly move. I mean, like, trying to decide what to do.
What is going on here?
No one's even moving. Yeah, kick this.
Yeah. So, what is making these people do this? I guess we shouldn't be thinking about that right now. You
Yeah.
all need to get to cover.
Well, they're in the tavern.
Let's go.
I mean,
Get
there's
this
the guy with the bow and arrow, but aside from that, everything else is going on outside. I mean, for now. It's not like anybody has kicked in the door yet. Well, not that there is a door, but so far, all the commotion is going on outside.
Azram and I are trying to help you people. What is going on? Why are they attacking you? She's just screaming at these people. Tell us what's going on. We're warriors. We can help you.
Yeah, nobody's got anything to
No.
say to
Let's go on.
So there's no
Kick this
door
guy.
on the tavern, so me and Azram should get on each side of the doorway, and just kind of take a quick peek out. You know, like cops do.
So that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
You just see more of the same. Looks like you even underestimated how many there are. You thought there might be 100. There's definitely over 100. There might be as many as 200. And they are, for the most part, moving past you. Uninterested in this place just yet,
So we
apparently.
can't just kill these people. These people don't even know what they're doing. If it's anything like this town. Because we already know that this town went and did the same thing to Aylstorm. What is it? What?
Aylesbury?
Aylesbury. We already know they went to Aylesbury and did that, and now they don't even remember what they did.
Yeah.
It's like they were in a trance or something.
Yeah.
And maybe these people are in trances, and so we can't just kill these people, right?
Right.
So what do we do, Azram? We can't harm these people. They're in a trance, or they've been hypnotized, or I guess that's the same thing. Or a spell has been cast on them so that they attack these towns. So it's not even that these are bad people. I want to call out to the attacking people. Hey, what are you doing?
You maybe want to get away from innocent people before you do that. Well, yeah, I guess everybody's kind of innocent, but if you were
Yeah,
to...
because that'll call them into the tavern. So let's go out of the tavern with our shields up. Shields. Hello, is there anybody that'll answer me? And as we're walking,
Sure.
kind of looking around, making sure there's nobody behind us.
At first, yeah, let's see here.
Hello, can anybody tell us what's going on?
For now, nobody's really paying you much attention because there's so much screaming and shouting going on already. I would suggest that you might want a more, it might occur to you that you might want to be in a better place strategically. Maybe where if you got overwhelmed, you'd have some place to run that's not back into the tavern. You might want to get away from this structure or something. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying they're not hearing you yet. What do you think is going to happen when they do hear you? And you really want to be have nowhere to run, basically.
Well, what's around the tavern?
There are individual structures. They're not. It's not like in the Old West or like a strip mall kind of a thing. So it's. There are independent structures, but they're not really orderly along a road in a neat little row. They're a little bit slightly scattered, like jagged teeth, you know. And there's sort of a main thoroughfare that goes that way, and that's where the attackers are coming from. And kind of flowing through the main thoroughfare, with maybe the occasional branching off to go chase somebody down or that sort of thing. If you even, I mean, think of it like this train going by. If maybe you even moved away from the train as it passes by, you might be able to, I mean, you'd at least, it would be hard for them to surround you. Whereas if you're standing in front of a large building, you could get pressed in very quickly and easily, backed into a corner. You want to get away from any corners.
Yeah, but wouldn't they see us?
Well, there's a lot of commotion going on, but yes, they might. It's all the more reason to get away from someplace where you could be trapped. Because again, the only place you have to run, if they were to come at you from all sides, would be back into the tavern. You don't know.
So maybe to the end, or where they're coming in at. We're moving. They're coming this way, and we're moving back.
Okay.
And maybe
so
sneak up on one.
you could come out of the tavern and make a right and run over to kind of an open area watching them the whole time as they're going past. And they're not really taking a whole lot of notice of you. And you could maybe go situate yourself by a nearby building, kind of at the back corner of it where they're going by like that, and you guys could maybe
Peek around the corner.
think about what you might want to do next and that sort of thing. So as you guys are standing behind this shack, you have a moment to think these things through, and you've already thought of some of the lawful good things you're supposed to do about them. Aren't they all innocents, you know? But they're from Fireband, and you know where Fireband is. as you are standing there thinking about this, and you were not noticing that you had caught the attention of somebody. So, I am going to use tokens that do not in any way match the character I'm about to describe.
Okay.
Okay? I just have no choice. I need to buy that box of NPCs. There comes up to you a human of about 25 with, you know what? I don't want to do that one. Let me choose a different one. Yeah, okay. A human of about 25 with a short sword suddenly comes running at you. Now, let's see here. You know what? We might as well have some fun with this. I need to light in that thing. You guys were standing around the corner of this building. Which is 20 feet wide. And actually it would have been longer like this. Okay, so there's this little shacky kind of building. And you guys were standing about here and kept peeking around that corner to see the wave of them that are bypassing, okay? Well, somebody from up here saw that you were back there and they've been making their way over to here, and he suddenly jumps around the corner. Again, it doesn't matter what he looks like, dude, because he doesn't look like what the attacker looks like. He's a human about 25 and he has a short sword. So, I need initiative for everybody.
5.
7.
Okay, so yes, he's a 25-year-old human with a short sword. And since he gets the drop on you, he goes first and swings at Azram with his short sword. By the way, it's kind of a beat-up looking short sword. Doesn't really look like a serious weapon, okay? And he's clearly not a warrior. The guy's dressed like just a common person, an everyday kind of guy, you know? And so, yes, he misses with that short sword. So, Azram.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
When enemies are paralyzed, can they talk?
No.
No.
We'll say not.
Alright.
That's a great idea, though. That's a great idea.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Wait, Azram. I mean, these people.
Dang it.
They shouldn't be killed. They don't even know what they're doing. Or maybe they're on drugs or something.
Okay,
Do you
hold on a
have
second.
diplomacy? No, he doesn't. It's not marked. Do you have anything on there? Oh dear, I just did something bad. But you need to get back to that.
Not that I normally enforce the rule, but do keep in mind that by the book, a turn only consists of 6 seconds. Or at least in battle time is 6 seconds. And remember, the rule by the book is talking is something that you can only do under 6 seconds worth. You've got, what, the move action, the whatever action, and it's the, I guess, a free action to talk.
Oh. Or what you could do is hit him over the head, kind of lightly, just to knock him out.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, we don't have any rope.
Yeah.
Knock him over the head.
I'll use my end of my masterwork longsword.
That is a good idea.
That is.
Knock him.
That is a good idea.
Knock him unconscious.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, you hit him, and just like that, he falls over unconscious, okay? You knocked him out cold, okay? And he's laying there like that. But then,
Uh-oh. Right.
an elderly dwarf comes wobbling around the corner. He moves faster than you would think a dwarf can. And he's carrying a wood saw. You know, just like a normal saw. You know, he's carrying a saw and coming at you with it. He comes around. He comes around, running up like this, so you guys have plenty of time to react, and takes a swing at Azram with this saw. I mean, how crazy is that? And he's elderly. I mean, this is an old dwarf. He's not ancient. He's not, you know, our idea of 90, but he's 70. I mean, this is a guy that, what the heck is he doing out here, and why is he attacking me with a wood saw? Okay, so he swings it at Azram and misses. He's definitely not a warrior. And let's see, whose turn was it last? Yours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hers.
so Gwilwillithel, go ahead.
You're
So I'm
taller.
going to do a diplomacy check.
You have it.
And my total on there is 7. So do I do a D20?
Yeah.
19.
Uh,
20, 26.
what is it that you do?
Sir, do you even know what you're doing? You're killing these people. You're taking their stuff. Do you even know what you're doing?
He turns toward you and swings the saw
Oh,
and
dear.
connects
Oh, God.
for, oops, really? For 6 points of damage. He tears a big hole in your side.
You said he did how many?
6.
God.
About 10.
He doesn't even appear to be hearing a word you're saying.
Alright. I'm gonna knock his... Well, not knock. I'm gonna use my end of my masterwork longsword.
To knock him out.
Yeah.
Okay?
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
You connect, but he is a tough dwarf. He can take it, so give me a damage roll. I'm just giving you a warning.
Okay. 2.
Yeah, he takes the hit,
Plus
but he...
4 is 6.
Oh,
Oh, 6.
plus 4 is what
Yep.
you have on that weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He can definitely take a hit. He's a stout little dwarf. Oh, so let's see. You go, Willithel.
he wearing any kind of armor?
No. In fact, by the look of him, it kind of looks like he just rolled out of bed. Maybe went to his workshop out back and grabbed his sharpest saw and started walking at a brisk pace, probably, because that's the way they're walking now.
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna move over here to the corner of the building, and I'm gonna shoot it at his kneecap, so that he'll be just, you know, a little injured.
Yep. Kneecap really hurts.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you could just put it in his calf or his thigh or something.
So yeah, I'm gonna hit him.
Go for the
Shoot him in
legs,
the eye.
basically.
Yeah, go for the
Shoot him
legs, so
in the eye.
that way he at least can't walk.
Okay.
And I missed.
Why? What did you
Double
roll?
Oh,
fail.
one.
Ah,
Double
okay.
missed.
It's a good idea, though. So,
I'll shoot him in the eyes.
it should probably be his turn. We're kind of off the map a little bit here. He swings that sword Azram's way, and you are a trained warrior, so you back up, and it scratches across your armor on the front, but you have suffered no damage. So, Azram, what are you going to do now? You guys are really backed in a corner here.
Oh,
Or he really is, I mean.
I'm gonna move. 1, 2. And I'm gonna hit him in the kneecaps with my heavy crossbow.
You're going to shoot him in the kneecaps at your heavy crossbow.
Yeah.
Well, all right, okay. I'm going to allow it.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that crossbow bolt got away. So you now have 22. Are you hoping to disable the guy?
Mm-hmm.
For what purpose?
You
Well, I
can't do
guess we
anything.
could just run from him.
I'm just asking a question. For what purpose are you going to disable him? So that you can get away from him, so that you can, what?
Well, I'm hoping, well, at least with the one I hit on the head, I want to be able to see if I can talk to him.
So, what if the two of you just rushed him and tackled him?
Oh, I didn't know we could do that.
Why not? You can do anything you want.
Yeah, we want to rush him and tackle him.
Okay.
Because we want to ask him questions, if he'll even answer.
Okay. So, let's see here. One of you, I'm not going to have both of you roll for this. I'm not going to have both of you roll a d20. One of you is going to roll and determine the success for both of you. So which one of you is going to roll a d20?
You should do it.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. 7.
Okay, so you're going to say to him, okay, at our next chance, we're going to rush him. And that's what you're doing for this turn, is you are waiting for your moment, okay? So, the elderly dwarf with the wood saw decides that he is going to step up here, kind of between the two of you, and just kind of slash out at both of you a couple of times with his wood saw. And he manages to connect with the two of you, and he does, we'll say, no damage. Okay, it just kind of hits your armors. And he goes like this for a moment because he like swung like this, and now he's like that. And so you guys, and so
rush him
one of
to
you,
knock him over.
so one of you shouts,
Now!
and you guys both dive. Who's gonna roll the die this time?
I'll do it. 6.
And he
His
manages,
dice.
since he swung like this, you guys miss. Okay, you did not manage to get your arms around him. And so he just comes back and swings with that thing at you guys again. And he hits again and again. I mean, this battle is a comedy routine. It's a dance recital, you know. He's clearly no good at this. And so you guys try to pounce on him again, and come on, one of you roll it. Yeah, I mean, one of you roll it. Make it good this time.
13.
Yes, you manage to pin him down, and he's kind of wiggling and struggling as the two of you have him held down.
Dude, can you even hear me? Stop struggling.
And he just keeps struggling and says, "Kill! Take! Kill!
Why are you saying these things?
Take!" And he looks like he's trying to hear a faraway sound that he can't quite make out. But he just repeats "kill, take" a couple of times and then goes into silence.
Slap.
Wake up, man. What's going on here? Why are you doing this?
He just responds with "kill" and "take." And then
Can I take my healing stone and heal him of this blight?
well, you should have thought of that when it was your turn, but I might let you do it here in a second. A half-elf of about 40 has been seeing this going on and has been coming up here, but you guys have had your back to him the whole time. And he manages to get up. Yeah, this is hard to decipher at this point because you guys are like pounced on him like this, holding him down. Okay? Meanwhile, this 40-something half-elf comes up. And you do see him, actually, just about the time that he comes up on you. He's got, it looks like a table leg.
Oh, dear.
A long table leg, kind of longer than you're used to seeing, but it just seems to be a table leg, and he's coming at you guys with a brisk, firm pace, and has it raised up to slam down on you as you've got this dwarf pinned down. And at the same time, somebody else was noticing this going on and comes again a brisk pace, starts coming in here, and he hasn't reached you yet because he is a 12-year-old human kid, and he's got a cane, a walking stick. I mean, did he like steal it from some old guy or something? So this 12-year-old kid is coming up with a walking stick in his hand and has it raised. So you are being closed in on by the two of them. You know, I don't know if we thoroughly discussed it while you guys still had time to think, but where do these people come from?
Firebend.
And you know where that is.
Yeah. There's a lot of... We got one unconscious. I'll keep seeing Steve.
So you guys are kind of surrounded, and as soon as, if you were to get up and let this guy up, he's got a saw, and then it's 3 against 2.
And what prevents them from attacking us while we're on top of him?
They are about to attack you.
Do we have any poofers?
No, afraid not.
Well, I say we get up and just run. No?
Yeah. I mean, there's like 100 of them.
There's like 200 of them.
Yeah, we can't beat them. We don't know magic. If we did, it wouldn't be very powerful magic.
A lot. Alright, which is wrong?
But then you're leaving these people to get murdered.
Dang it. Can't.
Alright, so we react and we get up, and it's going to take this old wizard a while to get up off the ground. I mean, he's old.
Old dwarf.
Old dwarf. Sorry. So it's going to take this old dwarf, because they're kind of big anyway, so it's going to take him a while to get up. So maybe if we stand up real quick, I could try to use my healing stone on this guy right here to see if maybe it will heal him of his ailment or whatever.
That guy right there, by the way, is the guy with the table leg, about 40.
Yeah.
Half elf.
I'm gonna try to do something with this.
Or,
Which one? Which
I
one's
hate to
king?
break the news to you.
but it won't do it.
I'm pretty sure it should be a turn to stand up.
It is.
But I would be willing to let that slide. If you guys want to get up and do an action, I'll allow it, because just us.
So could I get up and run over here real quick and use it on the first one, the one that's unconscious?
That's too
All right.
risky.
So you're going to give me a roll, and what do you think would be a good skill to apply to this? I would think acrobatics, agility, something like that.
Oh god, acrobatics. Knowledge, religion, lore,
I got lore.
sense motive. No, I ain't got none of that. Spellcraft.
Well, I would still let you roll for it to see if you pull it off in one smooth motion. Because, yeah, you'd have to be nimble and quick to leap off of him and make it an accurate distance, etc. But I have just set a number, I guess it's an AC, no, that's an armor class, DC, difficulty check. I have a number in my mind, and if you were to meet it, sure. How many squares is it? Yeah, because you got to get over him. Azram is in front of you. Well, yeah, but you'd be leaping over the dwarf. So I'd probably count that as 2 steps. And then 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, the reason you're doing the extra roll is the leaping over the, or leaping up from the dwarf guy. So if you want to try to do that, great. Otherwise, you're going to have to go around the legal way, which leaves the guy with the table leg.
I take care of the guy with the tape.
Yeah, but
But we got
if he
like
could
2.
swing his table leg at me as I go in for the, because I got to touch it to him.
Well, and likewise, the kid could swing the cane at you, the walking stick, by the
No,
time you
he's
get over
unconscious.
No,
Oh.
he means this one right
Oh.
here with the kid.
there. Yeah.
I might.
The guy who's
take him
unconscious
out.
is the human with the short sword.
Maybe if I could like.
Yeah, I'll do the leap.
Okay. Give me a roll with no modifier.
17.
Wow, you pulled it off. So, move your token over there. I was thinking you'd be right
Oh.
here. No. Right next to the kid.
Oh, yes.
That's the kid you're going after,
Yes,
right?
yes, it is.
Okay, so...
Oh, damn! I could have done the damn dwarf.
That's true.
Was the dwarf stuff.
Actually, can I take it back?
Okay, but I warn you, their turn is next. And they will be on you and both attacking you at once.
Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna
And
punch
what was
him.
the one that's unconscious? What does he have?
A short sword. A ragged short sword. Looks very old
A
and beat up.
rusted.
Okay.
Like you found it in a thrift store or something.
Or
Okay,
a
so then yeah, I'll do
dumpster.
the one that's unconscious.
Okay, now that's a little trickier though. Let's see.
That's the one I was gonna do.
I thought you were talking about the kid the whole time.
Oh.
Oh, well, somehow I misunderstood that. Well, that's why you were moving over there then.
If you heal him, he wouldn't be the problem
If it snaps him out of it, you mean?
anymore.
He's got a point. The unconscious
That's
guy ain't
true.
exactly a threat at the moment.
That's
Yeah.
true.
He's just not.
Good thinking, Wesley.
Yeah. Give me a high five. I didn't even think about that.
I tell you what, I'll give you an extra 50 experience points just for that, okay? I'll put that on the list. Don't let me
Yeah.
forget.
Good job. All right. I'll go with Wesley's idea, or with Azram's idea.
Okay. So you leap up from the dwarf, and Azram, you would want to get up at the same time, or do you want to keep on holding down the... Well, yeah, that guy's going to
Yeah.
attack you, so you want to stand up, right? So I'll let you guys both stand up at the same time, because it's the only way that really makes sense. And you're going to face the guy with the table leg, right?
Yep.
That's what you want to do? Okay.
Yeah.
And then Will Willett-Bell did a successful roll over to the kid with her healing stone in hand, and you're going to bring it down on his wife?
Like his arms.
Well, how was he standing?
Let's see. He's got a cane. So his right hand he's coming at you like this with the walking stick in his right hand. So as you bring your right hand up, it's unguarded. He's a 12-year-old. He's not much of a warrior. So you'd have an easy shot of maybe trying to connect with his head, especially, you know, it's where his brain is or whatever. So that might be something you'd want to do.
That would.
Or you could maybe grab him by the shoulder. One way or the other, the left side is unguarded because he's coming at you with the...
Yeah, I was gonna grab his left shoulder.
Okay. All right, so when you do that, there's nothing to roll here. When you do that, you see the, what is it, lavender kind of
Pink sparkles.
that runs through his body for a second. And since you have closed the gap between you and he, when he brings the cane down, he's just kind of trying to pound, like, sort of on your back, because you're close enough to grab him like this. So he can't even connect with you. And he struggles himself away to that spot right there.
So it didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. And now, the guy with the table leg takes a swing at Azram, who just stood up, dusted himself off, and came at him. And he misses. He did close the gap first. He stepped there and took a swing with the table leg, and you were easily able to avoid it. That would now, yeah, let's make it Azram's turn.
You should run away and start running towards Firebend. And maybe even like screaming and stuff so that they all follow us. You know, what kind of like zombies.
Yeah. That would be a good plan.
So attract a few more of them to you.
And lead them out of the town. Try to lead them out of the town.
Well, they're not all going to follow you.
Some of them.
They are here to do a job. But if you are concerned about your safety, you could just, I don't know, decide you're going to run away to a safe distance, spin the wheel again, that sort of thing. Because yes, you are now facing a child that you're going to have to attack. Lawful good person.
So yeah, we should just run
Yeah.
You could run and then
to
decide.
another building
Yeah, you could do that.
and just kind of watch, but not stand still too long. We can come up behind them.
I guess what I'm trying to say is flee. You could flee the battle, you know. I mean, there is like big open field out here, and then even some trees
Let's run into the field then.
through the field. See the trees?
Yeah.
Maybe try to, if they follow you, maybe you can lose them or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that what you want to do? Is what is it, R2
Yeah.
to flee? You want to hit R2?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you guys run. You're trying to run across this field, heading to the woods that you see over here. They don't run after you. They walk with that brisk pace again. But the two of them are coming after you until they see a woman who'd been hiding by a building over here the whole time suddenly try to make a run for it. They hear as she runs past the building where you guys are, and they turn and both go after her at a brisk pace. So you are now running across this field, headed into these woods. As you glance back, you don't see anybody following you. And we are going to leave it there for this week. Give you guys some time this week to talk about what you might want to do next. We're going to end on a cliffhanger. Okay?
Okay.
Did we have fun?
Yeah.
Good. Was it different?
Oh, very.
Good.